Well, hello my friends. Exciting is today. It starts today. Today is the start of 2018. So I'm gonna show you real quick part of my Christmas gift amongst many. Now you can, maybe I won't be any better, but I sure as heck will look better. I will probably actually look like a wood turner for Pete's sakes. Got my okay. I'm new to this, so bear with me. Well, got my none other than my wood turning smart. It came from Craft Supplies, and who else? Rebel Turner. Let's get ready to have some fun. Doing a quick update on a couple of the last couple of things I did. Number one, the fat lady went for a little bit of a cosmetic in the lathe. So I'm going to show you what I did there, and I want to bring you up to date on the dust collector that I did. Now, on my initial test, of course, I rush things. It's not to say that when I do something, it's finalized. It's going through a phase of tests. So when I posted the video, the first thing that I did at the end when I built it was actually suck up a good amount of dust that was inside my shop vac, my cyclone dust separator that I had created a long time ago. Now I vacuumed that up pretty quick, so there was a lot of stuff being drawn all at the same time. When I was drawing fairly slow, or at least at the speed that you would be generating, or less of more than the speed you would be generating chips, sawdust, anything from your lathe, your bandsaw, your table saw, that sort of stuff. During the time that I was sucking that amount, or the lesser amount, I had no dust flying out. But of course, when I bulked it up, it blew out the dust more than what I wanted to do. So I did an update to it, an upgrade, and actually have mounted the unit where it's going to stay. Now it still has stuff for me to do at some time. Probably not going to videotape that. It's just modifications to make it easier, not to make it work better, because it works fine the way it is. So, number one, the fat lady box. Well, let me show you, very basic, what I did to enhance her a little bit. So, I brought her back on the lathe, and the first thing you notice is that her ankles were thinned down some. I thought she was a little bulky. My wife thought as well. So I brought her in and returned her bottom a little bit, leading up to her ankles and her feet. During that process, I gained a little bit of a mishap, a little catch, and I lost a little piece of the foot, so I glued it back on, and I left that void. Now the second thing I did is I decorated her top of her dress a little bit with my detail tool, my spiral tool, and the little lines in between were just the side edge of my parting tool. I use that all the time when I want to give little details like that. So I made her, separated this ring with a couple of small lines on each side, then went with another group and a single up at the top. Now she looks a little bit more elegant. And by the way, that's the style, that's the way she sits, that's the front of her body. And the long draped dress is like the tail of a long dress on the back side. So she won't be showing off like that. She'll be showing off like this. So I thought I'd let you know. Now, the dust collector. Basically, I have it for 2 locations right now at the shop, and it will grow as I need to. Right now, I got it coming from the outside. That's where the unit is. Coming through the wall, hooked up to my bandsaw, and with a gate, and one which opens up from underneath, going to the lathe. The lathe, basically, I have a box that comes all the way down to the floor, and this is a test as well. And the idea is that it will shoot out any dust that I'm creating, create enough of a vacuum over here. But if not, I will modify this lid to stay closed up from the bottom. In other words, just have a notch about an inch, inch and a half wide on this, and it will open and close. Oh, that notch will always be visible, but it will conceal itself into the box as I flap down the lid. So if that makes any sense. Right now I got a connector here where I can do my shop hose from my shop vac, hook it up right in there, and use up the system and be able to vacuum the floor with a more manageable hose. And if it's drawing too much air, if it's putting too much restraint, I can always open up a little check area over there on this lid until I get the proper amount of draw from the hose without boggling down the unit. This wall will take a full shelf unit, like a pre-built, maybe like bookshelf type setup. I figure we'll take 2, maybe 3 dividers and shelving. I brought my old Atlas lathe that's been underneath a canopy outside suffering. And basically I have to rewire the VFD to the control box, and perhaps this one I will put up for sale because I don't have room for 2 lathes. This has been a very trusty lathe, very sturdy. I loved this lathe. Sometimes I wonder if I did any good by buying the Delta. And basically the only difference that I saw during that purchase was the fact that the Delta, the bedway, and it's not all the bedway, it's just this section right here, is a little bit bulkier. So it probably weighs maybe 50, 60 pounds more than this one, but it's only on the bed. These units, the headstock and the tailstock on this unit are actually heavier and, in my opinion, better built than the Delta. So sometimes I'm sorry that I bought the Delta, but I bought it, so therefore, and when I bought it, I also upgraded the VFD and the motor to a 1.5 horse instead of a 1 horse. This one has 1 horsepower, which is probably this style with the precast aluminum or steel frame is probably stronger than the one that I actually have on the Delta. But the Delta is rated as a higher horsepower, and this one I didn't have any problem with boggling down, and I have to be careful on how aggressive I am on the Delta. So the back wall again, nice setup. Those cabinets were inside my original side, both top and bottom. My table saw would have been over there with that cabinet, that tall cabinet is to the left of that. So that fits in nicely over here. Organize this back wall as well and set up a shelf already going across the top with all my chemicals, glues, leftover compound, stuff of that sort, and set up a section with jars attached to the bottom of the shelf with 2 screws on each cap so it doesn't twist up on me, and with variable screws and anchors and stuff of that sort. That's the update on the shed side. Shed side overall, I think, came out a pretty nice addition to the shed. Have done a little bit of landscaping around it, have painted it. Wife's already decorating with plants and so on and so forth. So go through here. This back section over here will have a hanger for all the garden tool equipment. And of course I have my hydro garden over there, which is disconnected. At one time I had it hooked up to a pump and a well with fertilizer, fish fertilizer, and plants would just do amazing, but it was neglected, so I let it go. Right now it's a pot holder, which the holes do a fine job fitting this smaller size of containers all the way through. I can always plug up the PVC, shut off the PVC to it, and actually let some water stand inside that so the plants can be drinking. But I figure it's out here. The sprinkler system, when it comes, it hits my trailer and oversprays this area anyway, so I think that will be sufficient. And here's a quick tour of what my backyard looks like. Planted some edging around there. Got my little bird feeders over there, which are empty at the time. Trampoline for the kids, they have a blast on that. Some lawn furniture going around, and so on and so forth. My screen is redone from Irma. There were quite a few branches that came down on it and it tore it all up. My roof is the next item, which was patched up. Now back to the area where my dust collector went into. A while back, before the addition, I actually did this canopy. It's a rubber liner. You would use it for ponds, and it's a heavy gauge, heavy duty rubber. So has some stretch to it. Anyway, I rolled it up on the back section underneath the eave, put a 2x there, put the half of the frame from one of those canopy pieces and mounted it up, and it gives me a pretty good as far as being waterproof underneath here. Kind of went through some of my wood, restacked some of it, got rid of some of it, and cleaned up this area some. And here is the dust collector. Mounted on a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, which hits both studs at 24 inches apart on the structure. Bolted on through with some 3/8 lag bolts, 4 of them on the opposite side. Now I will probably end up removing at one time and putting some rubber bushings between the plywood and the housing to eliminate some of the vibration. It's not bad inside, but when you start it and when you shut it down, the winding down of the motor, I guess, shakes a little bit more than it does when it's at full speed. So it puts a little rumble on the piece. The unit is facing in exactly to the wall, so therefore I was able to get a cutout over there and put a little bit of flex hose until I got into the metal piping over there, just to give me some flexibility. Put these wall angles on both sides attached to a 2x4, and they are screwed in to the side wall of the baffle on both sides. And I added this strapping, plumber strapping, all the way around, so the whole unit cannot go anywhere. It can't go up, go down, or anything like that. The barrel right now is off the ground. It's off the ground about 3 inches or so. So the idea is when it's full, or before it's full, you unstrap it and you let the barrel drop. But putting it back might be a little bit of a dilemma. So I'll make a little carton here or something on tracks that I can, once it's in place, put my foot down, it will raise it up right to place with a positive stop where it lines up the barrel, and just press down on the foot, it raises up the barrel, lock it in, and that will be it. So that is secure. This rack of wood was set up where the disc collector is, and so cleaning through this out, sorting it out, got me all excited again with some of the stuff that I know I got here, including these huge slabs of oak and shapeli, whatever you call it, just some amazing full-size blanks that I got here. This is about 16 inches wide, single plank. I got these over here, this one piece over here, which is, I'm sorry, this one on the top, which is actually a solid, I've been calling it mahogany, but it's not mahogany. But somebody else on Facebook was turning pieces that had exactly the same characteristics with the white wood or near white and the dark red, and what he used, and he was sure, there was no question on his mind on what it was, and it was rosewood. So actually that might be a piece of old rosewood with quite a few worm holes. I did a piece from that log when I first got it, after I received all this wood from the deceased wood turner, and I was just amazed at the beauty, and some of the pieces that I've done out of that wood. So they're probably, you probably have seen them. They are mislabeled as mahogany, but I'm sure that they're not mahogany. So that's it for the shop update. This wood over here, I got to do something with this. This is that bottle brush that I got back in the day. And of course, when I got it, it was pouring out, and I got some huge stumps. Now, the drawback with this is that it checks like crazy. All these pieces are badly checked, but between the checking, there's some fascinating pieces over here. Still got a lot of different woods, different colors, different things. Some might be mahogany in here. I believe that's what this is. That's it with the yard tour and the update on the units and other pieces that I need to do or work on at some time. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Take care.